yeah, it is what it is. I wanted to do something that I could replicate wherever we are. So, to have some continuity, because I don't yet have the luxury of having like a legit setup like you, dude. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's awesome.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Cool.
And I'm always changing this now. When I do my lives on YouTube, Arthur always come to the chat and says, "Dude, let organize those sketches behind you." And I
Yeah,
say, "Get out, Arthur. This is my setup. Students love this kind of a random sketches
yeah.
behind me." So
Ah, fuck. I mean, dude, the thing is as well. Like, I also right in the beginning, I actually I haven't actually told anybody this in public, but I was the podcast was going to be called something else. It was going to be called Crown something else. It was going to be called Crown Raw, and then Sasha's or Koenigsegg's spin-off thing. They called themselves Raw Design House. So
yeah.
I changed that at the last minute. And but I had posters and everything made. Like, I had like this big car sketch, and it said like Crown Raw like across, and but it just got like there just wasn't. It was just too busy. There wasn't enough space for like to get a good composition with the sketch in the background. It's just at last minute I just binned it off. But yeah, it was probably a lot of useless information for all the people out there. But yeah, who cares? Dude, it's really good to see you again. I mean, we've met briefly before through Leonello, and yeah, it's cool to finally kind of meet you properly and yeah, get to know a bit more about you.
Yeah, thank you very much for this such amazing opportunity. People were asking for that, so
Yeah.
I think that's the reason why we're doing this interview. Yeah, we met each other a couple of weeks ago by Michele Leonello and Luciano Bovi.
Yes,
They
Bove
are
as well.
awesome. Yeah, awesome. They are awesome. And well, yeah, man, I can say that you're doing an incredible work, bringing us such amazing information about the experience of designers all around the world, and it is good for the students, the young people, to know what we did at the beginning of our careers and what we're doing to keep in our best shape, as I can say, as a designers, as entrepreneurs. I always have problems to say entrepreneurs. What a fucking word to say, man.
Well, I think is it French? I don't know. But it's not easy. Yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Dude, to that point, I think the thing with regard to what you're talking about is in showing like different people, like, where they've come from. It's a really important subject because often we see the final result, right? So we see everybody on Instagram and on the internet and whatever, or people in magazines and whatever the case is, and you see what they can do now, but you haven't seen like when they couldn't do it and what it took to get from that point up into the point that they're at today. So it's important to realize that people are not born designers. They might have a creative tendency. Some people might have a more a natural disposition to drawing. But I know a bunch of guys that will say that, I mean, they firmly believe that there's no such thing as talent, which, is obviously debatable. But the point is that, talent on its own is not enough. You need to work your balls off or
Exactly.
if you don't, yeah. So, it's important to just hear a little bit about that, in a kind of down to earth manner.
Yeah. Well, I had when I was young, I wasn't pretty sure about what I would like to do. as my career. I was in doubt about engineering. I was in doubt about architecture, arts, fine arts. But because I always loved to draw. When I was young, I started drawing with maybe 4 or 5 years old. And then when I was 13, I always liked to do some kind of, sensual art, like we see with artists like Hajime Sorayama, And I always loved to do some kind of a how can I say, hyper realism or more realistic drawings,
Yes.
But always with the human images. I always loved Boris Vallejo work. It's amazing, And then, but at the same time, I always love it. I always have a passion about motorcycle. Yeah. My passion is motorcycle.
Do you have a bike?
So I have a bike. I have a Buell Lightning.
Jesus,
And,
what aren't
yeah.
those? Oh, what? Tell me, what is the deal with those things? Are they? I know they're like monster machines. Don't they have like massive, like 1.3 liter engines or something crazy?
Yeah, but my motorcycle, it's a 900cc.
Okay.
It's not the 1200, but it's amazing. It's an amazing bike, and I love that bike because of the construction. The way that the design engineering created such a product that it's a breakthrough. They created something that challenges the way we see a motorcycle in order to have just a focused gravity center,
Yeah.
just to make the bikes. Okay, the focus is to have the best riding bike in the world. Just to it's good enough to make curves. It has some nice power. It's not a speedy bike. It's not a bike to go faster than 200 kilometers per hour. But it's a nice bike, and I changed the painting of my bike. It's totally customized. I'm gonna send you a picture of this bike because I did the John Player special from Ayrton Senna.
Oh,
in
cool.
that painting. Yeah. My
Cool.
bike has the Ayrton Senna Lotus John Player special painting.
Dude,
So it's amazing. It's an amazing bike.
Did you see? I don't know if you listened to any of the Martin Longmore episode, but he fucking raced Formula 3 against Ayrton Senna, dude. Did you? I don't know. I made a post about that, but I couldn't believe all the shit that he had done. I mean, he's obviously designed a whole string of cars. He's designed a bunch of bikes as well, like award-winning bikes for, I think, mainly for Aprilia. But then, like, I saw, like, then I found out that he had this, like, motor racing background as well. And I was like, I looked at the list and it was like Martin Brundle, Ayrton Senna, and a bunch of other people. And then he was there, I think, 7th or something in the race. And he said that he had actually, he had like once or twice beaten him as well in a race, which is just, I mean, the fact that he was even in the same race was just incredible. I don't know how much talent one guy can have. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah. Ayrton Senna was amazing. I didn't see that post, but I started my passion for cars or racing with Ayrton Senna, and I stopped watching the F1 race when he died. And then I started watching the MotoGP. I'm a huge fan of Valentino Rossi, so... Man,
is he still going? Is he still racing?
Yeah. He's still racing, and I had the opportunity when I went to Japan, inside Honda Motorcycle Studio, to work close to the HRC building,
Yeah.
And when I was sketching the motorcycles, I could hear they testing the bikes, you know. And inside the design studio has one of the Valentino Rossi's motorcycle, and the one of the design managers went with me into the clay model studio, and he he told me everything about that bike, you know. I could sit on that bike, see how it works, you know. And it was one of the most amazing experiences I had in my career, you know, just to be in front of the design development of racing bike, especially from the bike that Valentino Rossi would use in the next season, you know.
Wow.
It was amazing.
So Leo, did you want to become a bike designer? Was it like first and foremost bikes for you?
Yeah, I was. It was my first job. It was my second job as a designer, and it's funny because when I was 14 or 15, I usually had some motorcycle magazines, and I usually use the bikes as an overlay. You know, I just put a paper over the pictures, and I just usually draw the motorcycles, just copy the motorcycles, and I like it to, you know, change the colors and modify some pieces. And this is what I was doing in the next maybe 7 years, you know.
Wow.
It started when I was 15, and it was my first job as a transportation designer, you know, doing some CMF or coloring team, or you can call it anything. So just creating some stripes, just changing colors. My first job inside the industry, it was like a graphic designer, not a shape designer. You know?
So you obviously pretty good friends with Art.
Yeah.
Did you guys study at the same place?
No, actually not. He studied in a city close to Sao Paulo. And I studied in a college in Sao Paulo, in close to the downtown, and we actually met each other when I was at Honda and he was working at Volkswagen, and then we joined us at General Motors in 2007. I think it was in 2007. Yes.
And that's where you guys became pretty close, right?
Pretty close, yes. Almost like brothers.
And the Pavone brothers, do you know?
Yes, I know them.
You know both of them, or?
Yes. But I'm more close to JC Pavone.
Yeah.
More than the Marcos. When he moved to Germany, I lost contact with him. But I established more contact with JC Pavone when he moved it to Sao Paulo.
Okay.
And we have a nice group, nice WhatsApp group with Arthur, with JC Pavone, with Cesar Pieri, and other such amazing designers, Rafael Coraza, and another sketch students. So it's pretty amazing, this knowledge, you know, we have to share each other, the fun stuffs and so on.
Are you guys so the other guys, did they study at the same place that Art studied, or did they study at the same place you did, or are there more places to study?
Different places. I think Cesar Pieri and Rafael Coraza studied at the same place from Arthur Martins. JC Pavone studied at Mackenzie, which is another college. It was really close to my college. It's almost in the same neighborhood. But none of us studied at the same college or at the same classes, you know. It was in different periods.
What do you think it is about Brazilian designers that seem to do so well on the international market, so to speak? I mean, there's like those names that you've mentioned now, including yourself, have all like achieved pretty fucking highly on, you know, in the industry, whether it be in traditional OEM land or startup land, whatever the case is. Do you think there something specific that that you as a Brazilian like possesses, is there a specific quality that you think like facilitates that level of success?
I think we are motivated for our passion, not only by our passion, but we can adapt to any kind of a situation, you know? Like, for example, me and Arthur, we have something very specific in terms of design. We love design, not only exterior shape, for example. If I'm requested to do an interior shape or interior design, okay, I'm gonna do it. If I have to do some wheel design, okay, I'm gonna do it. If I have to do some seats design or garnish design, I'm gonna do it. Okay, we almost don't say no inside the industry. That's the reason why they like much the Brazilian guys, you know, most of them, because we don't say no. Oh, I'm not gonna do this because I'm exterior shape designer. Oh, I'm not gonna do this because it's no. We always do that. It has a when I was at General Motors in Michigan, there was one day that was difficult to go to the studio because of the snow, you know. Man, that day was terrible. It was almost 50 centimeters of snow on the road. Jesus. It was terrible. And they sent some kind of a, you know, message, okay, just take care, stay at home. But at that time, the Brazilian guys, most of them was in the studio, inside the studios at 9 a.m. when the Americans went to the studio after lunch. You know, so we have some kind of a power and passion of our work that it's quite different, you know, it's quite different. And we don't say no.
Would you say that there's also a drive that to because you've got to work so hard in order to compete on the international stage? I mean, in terms of like, you know, okay, there are quite a few which I didn't know about, or quite a few studios in Brazil, but for quite a lot of young designers, the goal is to go to America, to go to Europe, and obviously in order to make that happen, there's a real hunger to succeed.
Yes, they seeking for the success, you know, for their spot inside the industry. And nowadays, I say to my students, go outside Brazil. Okay, you have some kind of opportunities in Brazil, but if you wanted to develop a real car, go outside Brazil. You need to have some kind of international experience, you know. Then you can go back, stay with your family, with your girlfriend, but you need this kind of experience. Nowadays in Brazil, we have just two or three studios developing cars like we see on international studios. We have Stellantis with a Fiat and Jeep and another car brands inside this group. And we have Volkswagen and maybe Ford. But I think Ford is developing some kind of a car for North America. I don't know exactly. But those three main studios are developing cars nowadays in Brazil. And that's the reason why I say, guys, you need some experience in the United States. You need some experience in China. Please go to China. Go to Shanghai, Guangzhou. You know, there's a lot of opportunities in there. So go there, learn, and, you know, take your place in the world.
It's also just good life experience at the end of the day, right? I mean, I think you have to at some point you have to leave your hometown. You have to get out of this bubble that you've grown up in and experience different environments, different people,
Exactly.
You've got to experience life. Yeah.
That counts a lot. A lot.
What made you decide to get into teaching?
Well, it was in 2009. I was at General Motors, and I knew that some internships from Volkswagen were doing some kind of workshops and teaching the students, and the students saw like, wow, we have some people inside the industry teaching us the experience about the industry. And when I saw that, when I heard that, I talked with Arthur, and I said, man, they are learning with the internships, not with the experienced designers. And the internships, they don't have any fucking experience yet. So I have the same opinion from Michele Leonello about that, because to teach something, you need at least 10 years of experience in this field, you know? And then when I saw that, okay, I need to do something. And something inside of me said, okay, it's time to teach design for those guys. And that's the reason why I started teaching. When I thought about this idea, I told that to my ex-wife. At the beginning, it was me, my ex-wife, and Arthur. And Arthur came to me asking if he could join this idea, and we started together. The name Sketchit came from him. The logo came from him. So Art had some kind of a special history in this history of sketches, you know.
Wow, and
amazing.
I only just found that out, actually. I mean, now that I think about it, I actually didn't. Your website used to have a picture of him on there as well, right? It used to. Didn't you had a green background with like black and white photos on there, if I remember correctly. But I completely forgot about that, and I knew that you and Art were tight, but I didn't realize that he was involved in this as well.
Yes. Arthur and I, we worked together at Sketchit for a long time, maybe 6 or 7 years.
Oh wow!
Before he moved to United States, and we had a great experience. We helped a lot of students to get in the market. Like we have in Brazil the VW contest, the Volkswagen contest for the new internships. In the last 8 or 9 years, we had at least in the 10 finalists, maybe 7 did Sketchit, and most of them entered, and they were admitted in the industry, you know.
Wow.
So it was amazing. It was amazing for us.
I mean, dude, I have to say, I know every Tom, Dick, and Harry now has decided that they see the opportunity for online learning, but I still don't think anybody's got it right yet. And I have to say that I am honest, and I fucking swear, like if anybody comes to me now, I always, you, in my opinion, are one of the few people that are doing it right. So Yeah,
Thank
I
you very
think
much. Thank you
yeah,
very much.
I really, it's. I think you guys add a lot of value, and well, it's you now, and I also like your, I mean, your approach to the like one-on-one learning as well, you know, and I think it's very reasonable, and I think it's really cool, dude.
Yeah, yeah, and I started the one-on-one when I came back to Brazil after one year in United States, and then I had the opportunity to move to Shanghai, but I got divorced in there,
Yeah.
so I couldn't stay there, and I came back to Brazil without a job.
Okay.
And then I started at PSA. So when I started at PSA, I saw a lot of students coming for classes inside the studio, but there was another students that couldn't have this kind of a opportunity because they lived in another country or another city or another state. And let's start doing one-on-one classes. I started first with the Brazilian guys, and then I opened some spots for the international ones. And man, it was a crazy step of my life because there was some weeks that I had to do 4 classes along the day, one in the morning, 2 on the afternoon, and another one at night. And sometimes I had to do the same sketch 4 or 5 times.
Wow.
It was very, very stressful. That's the reason why I decided to record the classes and say that.
So did you start off doing the one-to-one thing, Leo?
Yes.
Okay.
It was one-to-one.
And then you realize, like, fuck, it can't scale, and
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
okay.
And nowadays I can scale more, and I'm learning a lot about the digital marketing. It's crucial for me nowadays. I really would like to learning Blender or learning Keyshot or doing some more kind of design stuffs. But nowadays, as an entrepreneur, I hate this word. I have to focus more on digital marketing and create some kind of a focus material or focus content for my public.
You should start a podcast.
Maybe.
You should.
Yeah, but man, you're doing a great job. I don't want to do a podcast right now because I don't have more time.
Yeah, but dude, it just, it's really good just to, for one, to obviously meet people, and number two, it's like, there isn't, at the end of the day, it's not like just one person can do it, it's, you listen to different types of music because you like the individual artist, and there's always room for more. So but I can imagine you've got so much shit going on. Like what is your average, like, what does your average day look like? Like, what are you doing on a daily basis now?
Well, when I in the morning, I just reserve some time for myself. I'm working out. I'm do some meditations. I set some time to maybe learning another things, like I like some spiritual stuff, English. I like to cooking, so sometimes I spend all the morning at home, or I go to the shopping, or I go to a park just to take a walk and be close to the nature. Just it's clear. More about clear my mind and some stuff like that. And then after lunch, I come from my studio, and work until 8 or 9 p.m. and then go back to sleep. To go back home to sleep. And this is my average day, you know. And inside the studios, I do a lot of things.
So what are you normally doing in your studio? Are you filming every single day or?
Not every single day. I said that I have my live reviews with the students on Wednesday for Brazilian guys and Thursday for international students.
Okay.
But I'm gonna spoiler something because in the following weeks I'm gonna change a little bit this, because on Wednesday I'm gonna dedicate 2 lives, one for Brazilians and another for international students, just focused on product design or product rendering and stuff like that, sketching. And then on Thursday, it's going to be focused just on automotive stuffs, you know? So I'm going to do one live at 1 p.m. for international students and another one at 8 p.m. for Brazilian.
Is that 1 p.m. Brazil time?
Yeah, 1 p.m. Brazil time. Yes. Because when I do at 1 p.m., the guys in California can watch, the guys in India can watch, so it's a good time for doing this kind of international lives. And then I have another one 8 p.m. for Brazilian ones.
And night. where will you stream that from? From Instagram?
No, it's on YouTube.
On YouTube, okay.
On YouTube,
cool.
Yeah.
So your reviews that you have with guys are like how many people are sitting in those reviews with you?
Well, now actually I have an average of 50 to 60 people, 60 students watching.
Yeah.
I know it's not a quite significant number. Most of them are my students, but I think nowadays the social medias, especially Instagram, it's not delivering the message for the whole, you know. I have almost 30,000 followers, but just 3,000 see my content, and another less than 100 watch my YouTube videos. So I need to work a little bit more in digital marketing to, you know, spread the message and have more people watching the content. So
What sort of stuff are you doing on YouTube to kind of attract more people?
In terms of marketing or content?
Well, I mean both. I mean those two things are kind of linked, aren't they?
Well, I'm more focused right now on Instagram stuff, and I'm using the YouTube just to broadcast the content, you know, because it's easy to make the streaming. But I usually create, in the past, I had some kind of sketching demonstrations. It's, speed recording just to make it in less than 10 minutes, maybe 7 minutes. It's quite enough because after that, people don't watch nothing. So that's the reason why I started just putting some music and make some kind of speed sketching. And then I move it to the full content. So, and the first moment I started just broadcasting my reviews with my students, the students from my courses. But I felt that it was unfair with them because they were paying for that courses. And there were some people that were having this kind of information for free. So it was not fair with them. That's the reason why I created a different thing. I created this lives that I call it sketch flicks, that I can select some sketches from a group that I have from followers, the Sketch Squad. So people can join the Sketch Squad on Telegram and send their sketches in there. and then I choose one, and boom, I analyze this sketch in a live review. So this is the opportunity they have to learn a little bit more, despite of the fact that I believe that the full knowledge you won't find on YouTube. You're gonna have a lot of tutorials, but if you wanted to learn properly, find some guidance with a mentor, find some guidance in a master in transportation, whatever. But don't put your effort into the YouTube videos. There's a lot of good stuff, but there's a lot of shit in there. So, and it looks like a puzzle, with a lot of different pieces that doesn't match. So that's a problem, and that's, I think, the students feel frustrated because the more they search for information, the more they get confused, because there's no focus, there's no, a step by step to follow.
Yeah. I mean, I think 10 years ago there was nothing, and now there's now there's a sea of information, and it's just like a lot of rubbish out there as well. And there's somebody's just enrolled in university, and they've already decided that they are going to start teaching design. And it's like, it's one thing sharing your knowledge, but it's I mean, as you said, it's probably better to go and master your craft first before you go out and want to start teaching other people.
Exactly. That's the point. And I think if you want to find a course to understand a little bit of design, you can find my courses. There's a lot of other guys doing a great job selling tutorials and courses on the internet. But if you wanted to properly understand design, you have to study industrial design, and then you can do a master in transportation design. I didn't have the chance to do a master when I was a little bit more young because it was quite expensive to do a master in transportation, especially living in Brazil.
Yeah.
So it's if I can say, you can buy almost a Porsche 718 a year, paying a course for your children if he's going to a master in transportation.
Jesus.
It's very expensive for Brazilian guys. That's the reason why they tried the sponsorship. Most of them that I know that studied they did a master, they got some kind of a sponsorship.
But that doesn't really happen that much anymore, does it?
Not so much.
Sponsorship, because I think I get asked about that a lot, and I just think that those time. It's not to say that it can't happen, but for the most part, it seems like those days are gone. As it is, there's no incentive for a company to invest in some student like that because they've already got the market's saturated with there's so many courses now, right? And so many graduates that, they can just take their pick. So it's not like they have to really invest in sponsoring some student. Of course, there's benefits to it, but it just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen so much anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
Leo, where did you really learn to sketch and render the way that you do?
Where I did learn. Well, it was at Honda. Well, my first contact with the sketches, the really, really good sketches, was at Honda in Sao Paulo, here in Sao Paulo, Brazil. But and it was kind of amazing thing because when I saw the Japanese guys sketching like that, I felt damn it, I know nothing. You know, it's learning motorcycle design. It's a quite different experience from doing cars, because when you do motorcycles, you have to take care about the engineering parts, all the elements, you know, proportions. There's a lot of criterias that you have to follow. So I learned to do some kind of how can I say, analog sketches or analog renderings. It means that I learned it first with markers, and then I moved to the digital one. But it's funny because when we moved to digital one at Honda, my first rendering, I spent maybe almost 10 days to finish. Almost 10 days. Nowadays I can do in less than 90 minutes, but I spent 10 days. And when I sent the final sketch to Japan, the design director, I think it was, what his name? Kohama-san. It was Kohama-san. He said, okay, Leandro, we can see that you can do a nice digital rendering. You have some kind of a nice skills, but your sketch has no soul. So we can't feel your sketch. So that's the reason why we are requesting you to make this again, because we trust, we believe that you can do this manually. And when I received that message, I thought, I'm fucked up. Because when you do something kind of a illustration like that in Photoshop, you have Control Z, you have a lot of resources that you don't have when you do this kind of a thing by hand. But okay, I got the challenge and I did it. And then after a month, I went to Japan to present the project. And then when the Japanese guy saw those sketches, it was just one or two directors on the same table, you know. There was me and another Japanese guys, another staff that lived in Brazil, and he was presenting the motorcycle in Japanese. And then when the chief design, Kohama was the chief design, when he saw the final sketch in front of him, he asked, who did the sketch? And the Japanese guy said, Leandro did. And then he challenged the Japanese guy that was presenting the sketches, saying, well, if Leandro can do that, you can do that. Okay? And he couldn't say nothing. He was speechless at that moment. But it was funny because at that moment when we put those sketches on the wall, there was another design director coming, another manager, and you know, they were looking for something that I did because they were not believing that a Brazilian guy was doing those kind of a job. You know, they were thinking that the job was done by a Japanese guy. And at the end of the day, most of the people don't know, but I was the first Brazilian guy to approve a motorcycle design in Honda's history.
Wow.
And when I say Brazilian guy, it's not a Brazilian Japanese guy. It's a Brazilian guy. You know, I was the first one to approve a motorcycle. And man, for me, it was the moment of my life, you know, more than sketching some sketches for the Corvette C7 or something like this. You know, it was my moment. At that moment in Japan, they were considering me one of the top 10 designers in the world. And I was shocked because I was just 25 years old. And man, it was the opportunity of my life at the time. You know,
Wow.
I was living my designer's dream at that moment. It was amazing, amazing.
Did you get to go through the model development of that as well?
Unfortunately, not, because after 3 or 4 months, I think I moved to General Motors. The reason why it was opportunities, because at that moment in Japan, they wanted me to spend maybe 2 years in the advanced design studios, between advanced design studios and the design studios, doing the street fighters, doing the sports bike and so on. And then but in Brazil, they, how can I say, they didn't want to give me that kind of a chance, you know?
Yeah.
It's funny. They gave that chance to another guy, for another engineering guy, and I lost my chance. At that moment, I lost the ground. But and that's the reason why I accepted a new challenge at General Motors, and it was really, really hard for me. It was really hard at that time.
To walk away from that, or to
walk
okay.
away from that, because the Japanese guys from Japan, they were not believing that I was leaving Honda. They asked me, Leandro, you lost the passion for Honda? What is the problem? And I said, no, there's no problem. I really love motorcycle. I really love Honda, but it was just a matter of a job opportunity. I don't have any more opportunities in Brazil, so I'm moving to another challenge. You know.
Yeah.